Welcome to the Your Limitless Leadership podcast with Jenny and Brent Widman. Here, we believe leadership isn't just about titles. It's about how you show up in every aspect of life. Whether you're leading a business, building a legacy as an entrepreneur, guiding your family, or striving to lead yourself first, this podcast is for you. Join us as we dive into real conversations about growth, decision-making, and the courage it takes to lead with purpose. Get ready to be inspired, challenged, and equipped to become the limitless leader you are meant to be. This is your Limitless Leadership podcast. Let's lead without limits. Welcome to your Limitless Leadership podcast and Mrs. Jenny Widman along with Mr. Brent Widman. And today we're going to talk about well, first of all, I love the way Jenny just showed up today. She's all prepared and she's all done up and she's got it all going on today. So good for you, honey. I love it.
You saying I don't look like this every day?
I would never say that. Never. No. That's awesome. Today we're going to talk about the art of accountability. And I'm going to turn over Jenny in a second. But I guess just for me, the reason this subject hits us so many times is we get asked consistently, I know I do, I can't speak for her, about how do I hold my people accountable, or what do I do here, how do I do that? And there are times that I know I hear leaders say, well, I told them to do this. And it kind of makes you a little squeamish at times. Like there's a big difference, and we'll talk about that as well, the difference between leadership and management. As in, we manage things, we lead people. And that's an accountability aspect too. But we will talk about that. Anything to add there at all, like that hits you or that you're thinking about with accountability or want to start in?
Well, we've been asked this about 5 times in this week already, and it's Wednesday. We just got hired to do a training based off of this subject alone. And that's why I feel like it would be so healthy to just talk about how to hold someone accountable, how a leader holds someone accountable, and how a manager holds someone accountable. You need to be both in your team. And so that's really it. I mean, that's why we wanted to bring this topic up.
If there's a favorite way, just for me, a favorite way that I love holding people accountable, and I'll turn this back on you in a second, but it's the first thing I do with a team member is I just ask them their goals, their vision. Where do they want to be? What do they want to do? What are the things that they want to create? What kind of money do they want to make? Where, whether it's trips, it's personal, professional, whatever it is, like what are the things that are uber important to them that they want to do? And I let them tell me. I just shut up and listen and ask them questions about it and what have you. And then periodically just say, can I hold you to that? Well, once they're in this emotional state of telling you all the things that are important to them, of course they're going to say, yeah, you can hold me to that, because it's things that they want to do. And now our job is just to help them and guide them and develop them. And they just gave you permission to hold them accountable to the things that they want to accomplish. Well, that will also lead into what you want to do. Obviously, it's kind of how it works. But
I love that you just said that, though, because that's the consistent thing I get pushback on is I hear leaders say, I don't want to micromanage. I don't want to micromanage my people. And my question back to that is, well, are you holding them to what your goals are for this year? Or are you holding them to what their goals are this year? Because if you're holding them to their goals, you're not micromanaging. You're being a leader and you're helping them get where they are saying they want to go in the first place. But once you have that conversation and really truly understand what their goals are and why that's important to them, the next part of that conversation is to set expectations with them, because you need to help them reverse engineer what that means, number related, activity related. And you need to say, well, I'm going to hold you to that. Do I have that permission? Can I make sure that I'm going to be completely honest with you and hold you to that? And then you're putting it on them. You're not micromanaging. You're being a great leader, and they're going to be proud of the fact once they hit it because they did it and they did it alone, but they'll attribute that to you because you helped them get there.
And that's the part of it as well. What you just said, I go back to the permission statement. They are giving you permission to help them, not tell them. There's a difference in that. And when somebody tells you, like if I told Jenny that I want to run a marathon in 6 months, can you help me with that? Can you hold me to that? Can you make sure I get up in the morning? Can you make sure I do my runs and my long runs? You have full permission. Even if I get frustrated or upset or don't feel like it, you can bust me on that. And that's the difference between me saying I want to run a marathon and not talking to Jenny about it. And Jenny is my leader just telling me, hey, you said you're going to do it. Go do it. Go do it. Go do it. That's what alienates people. And the other adage there is if you, obviously you are listening to this and you are running a team. If you are not doing one-on-ones, if you are not consistently following through with what they told you, if not asking them about their goals, because I hear that so many times as well, I'll simply ask, when was the last time you sat down with one of your team members and asked them about their goals and what they wanted to do and what they want to be held accountable to? And I don't want to put a percentage on it, but rarely, let's call it rarely. And that it hurts my heart because that's being a leader. You're not a leader just by title. You're a leader by the person that you are and helping people achieve the things that they want to achieve. That's why you're in that position. So it's one of those things that be consistent in your follow through as much as you are consistent in what you're doing on a daily basis, but be consistent with them and helping them as
Mhm.
well.
And with the one-on-ones, depending on the how long they've been with you and what their title is and how much money they make you really at the end of the day, how much volume they're bringing into your overall, you want to spend more time with the people that are bringing in more money for you. And the cadence of that can vary and change. For some people, once a month for 1 hour is enough. For most people, I would say it's every other week for 45 minutes to an hour is enough. And then for very new green leaders in your company or green salespeople in your company, that can be weekly because they need that time to get situated. And what I would say, if you're asking yourself, well, this guy, he's been doing it forever, I don't know what I would talk to him about. My number one tip for you is to go listen to the last sales call they had or last recruiting interview they had. I did this yesterday with a client of mine, and I wrote down 7 things that I can now have conversations with moving forward that we need to work on. And these 7 things could take easily 3 to 4 months of coaching calls. So if you're asking yourself, I don't know what I would do, shadow them, work with them, follow them on something that you think they probably need to work on based off of their ratios. And you will have lots of content. You will have lots of things that you can then work on them with to improve. And then once you shadow them, ask them to shadow you. Be like, hey, I have an interview tomorrow. Come work with me. Come see me. Come sit on this. And let me show you just a couple things so that we can talk about it after. And then let them do it again. So uh, if you're just asking yourself, I don't know what I would start, what I would do, start with their goals. And then from there, shadow, because shadowing will give you content.
That leader that you're talking about right there, how long have they been a leader?
Uh,
Experience wise, how old are they? How long they've been in the
6
game?
years.
What's that?
6 years.
Okay. So 6 years as a leader. And so many times it doesn't matter if it's 6 years, 10 years, 26 years. we put our perception of somebody not needing help or not needing to be held accountable because they should just do what they do because they do it that way. But that's on us. And I don't know how to drive that home. I'm just going to drive it home. If you're not doing that with your leaders, you are selling them short. It's not about you. It's not about your time. It's about helping them get to where they want to go. And I would bet you good money, every leader that you have has goals and a vision of things that they want to hit and things that they want to accomplish. And they all yearn for help. That is why they are in the leadership role that they are in, because they have gotten to that place, not by title, but who they are and being driven and being and getting to that point. But we all want to get to that next level. How do I get better? What are the things I can do? And again, and maybe the flip side of that, if you are a leader and you're not asking for accountability, it's time to buck up and start asking for help, because that's how you're going to get better and take the ego out of the equation. That's kind of my rant right there. But I don't want you to be held back, because it's obviously we'll stay stagnant. We don't want to be complacent. We don't want to be stagnant. We don't want to just get into a role and because I'm experienced, well, they don't need help or I don't need help. We all need help, and we all need accountability. That's just part of it. I guess my question for you, Jen, when you look at accountability, go ahead. Were you going to say something?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The one, I was on a call with a leader the other day. He's been a leader for over 2 decades. And one of his goals for the next year is to create 2 leaders above him, to create 2 leaders. And I asked him, I said, well, what are you doing currently to duplicate yourself on them? Like, what are you doing currently to coach them and coach them up so you can promote them? And he's like, well, I talk to them all the time. They're always in my office. We're always doing X, XYZ. And I said, so when are you intentionally spending time to help them grow in areas every single week? And that you can tell me the areas in which you intentionally did that. Oh, well, no, it's very reactive. It's very just what they need in the moment. And I said, so how do you plan on promoting 2 people reactively? How are you, are you empowering them or enabling them based off of the situational circumstances they're in? Oh, that's a good point. And it's like, if your goal is to duplicate yourself, if your goal is to promote people within your organization and you're not intentionally spending time to help them see how you do things, when you do things, but most importantly, why you do the things that you do, you aren't going to promote anybody. And only you can blame for that. So I would just encourage the reason why behind the intentional one-on-one time is, if you actually want to promote people, we need to be intentional and we need to be proactive with how, when, and why you do the things you do so that they can become you.
If you want to take anything away from this podcast, rewind the last 2.5 minutes and just do that. That is it. That question, how are you? I just lost my train of thought on how you said it, but it was, how do you expect to get them promoted reactively? Well, I talk to my people all the time. We always have conversations. They're always popping into my office. I see them all the time. We go to lunch, we go to coffee, we do all this. Intentional, specific, proactive, have a purpose. It's really that easy. I mean, if you are just intentional, this you can tell the pain on us, because we hear this so often with our coaching clients year after year after year. And this is part of why obviously we coach and leaders get into coaching, because they don't know they need help with this stuff until things like that come out of their mouth. And somebody like Jenny says, well, how the hell are you going to do that? How's that working out for you? If you really want to do it, do it. And I guess there's the way you just said it for you is really easy. But if you look at leaders, and we all, again, we all have things we need help with. So this isn't picking on any people at all. But when you look at accountability, why do leaders struggle so hard with holding their team members or the people they care about most accountable?
Gosh, it depends on personalities, right? A lot
Hmm.
of people I come across with, it's like I don't want them to not like me, not respect me, not trust me. So they stray away from that crucial conversation because they think everything's fine and they just want things to go fine and they don't want to deal with what is going on. Another side of it is people don't want to feel like they're micromanaging. And that, another side of it is people feel like they don't have time for some odd reason to do something like that. That there's tons of meetings in the calendar, and it's like, well, this is one of the most important meetings you could have in your. It's like people don't leave companies; they leave people. So it's understanding the fact that like the most important time in your calendar should be the one-on-ones with your most important people. So I mean, there's lots of different ways I could take that question. It's just that the it's getting your own goals in mind of what are you actually trying to accomplish, and why why are you not spending the time or making the time for these people, because that's what at the core we need to figure out. And uh then you'll want to spend the time with your people because you'll see all the holes in your company.
One of the things you just said, the micromanagement thing, and I'll tell you, I obviously you're and my personalities are just different. You have more of the I will call you out, and you are fantastic at that. I'm more of the delicate flower sometimes, but also the lead by example. Like I work really hard, so you should work really hard too. And the micromanagement piece, one thing I had to implement being the person that always wants to be liked was when somebody isn't doing something, I just ask them for permission. So if you're in the same realm, ask them, can I call you out on that a little bit? Can I help you with that? Can I tell you what I'm seeing based off what you just said? And when you ask for permission and they grant it, they have now just granted you permission to hold them to the things that they need to do. Do you see what I mean by that? Like that's it helps you take the angst of, because like you just talked about, we were talking to a leader the other day that this person may get demoted as a leader because they have such a hard time holding people accountable that they just want everybody to be their friend. They want people to like them. But I live in this world that if you just want everybody to like you as a leader and be their friend, you are doing them a colossal disservice by helping them achieve the things that they want to achieve in life. They didn't come to your company. They didn't come to you. They didn't come to be part of this. They did not wake up in the morning and go, I cannot wait to be complacent today. Today's going to be a fantastic day. Help them. Help them. I mean, that's probably the biggest part of it.
And the when you see your people doing things right, when you see
Spot on.
principles that are being used from your coaching, the most important thing that you can do is, I mean, I always say this, affirmation is free currency. And when you can affirm them and say, hey Brent, I'm proud of you. Hey Brent, I saw that yesterday, thank you. Hey Brent, thanks for picking up my slack the other day, I appreciate it. Like they that means more to them than a paycheck sometimes. So affirmation is free currency, and it's not like you do not give it every day all the time. Give it when it's earned, and they'll want more of it.
You just hit something there too. The when you give somebody affirmation and tell them they're doing a good job or recognizing it, they want to keep doing it. They want to do more of it.
Yeah.
They want to keep developing. They want to keep that thing. And that goes with your kids as well. Like, you know this, having the conversation with our daughter the other day about softball and the time and effort and the work that she's put into it when she first started softball. And then this goes into leadership as well. She struggled, let's call it that. Okay. But she worked on it and put time and effort into it. And then she began asking if she can go hit, if she can play catch, if she can do these things. And when we see her doing or pitching and when we see her doing really well, guess what? We compliment her and we tell her and we guide her and we let her know how great she's doing. And guess what happens? She wants to keep doing it. I don't care if you're a 10-year-old. I don't care if you're a 50-year-old. This is the affirmation. This is what Jenny's talking about. And believe me, for me, it was, again, I go back to this. If you're picking up on this, I struggled as a leader in the past, and it took a lot of time and effort. But even for me, that was awkward. It was awkward for me giving affirmation. It was awkward for me telling people how great they are. It was awkward for me doing those things. And it's not until you work on it that it becomes normal. So the things that you're hearing in this, you have two choices. You can either work on it and it will become normal, or you can say, I'm fine. It's good. I'm good. I talk to my people all the time. And that's the change in accountability. If this is hitting home, there's a reason this is hitting home. That's a big part of it.
And I don't want you to think also accountability only comes from you. There's levels of accountability that are super healthy within your organization. One of the thing, if you're in sales or leadership, every single person should have a pacing partner. And what I mean by that is somebody at their level, but that they respect, that pushes them, that you pair them up against each other. Like that peer accountability goes such a long way. They can be a student of the game together. They can study together. They can role play together. They can compete against each other. You can do a pie in the eye contest. You can do whoever wins gets $100. You can do whoever wins. I'll send your spouse roses, like whatever the case is. But the pure accountability of a pacing partner goes such a long way. Another part of accountability is get to know their spouse, get to know their family, get to know who's really important to them in their world and put them in the accountability. Ask them, hey, is your calendar on your fridge? Hey, does your child know your goals this year? Hey, does your wife is there something that your wife really wants that you haven't gotten her yet? And when you have your best month ever this month, I'll buy it for her. Like it's putting family, spouses, a situation in place that they're not doing it for themselves, they're doing it for someone else, and they won't want to let that someone else down. It's really easy to let yourself down. It's really easy to just press that snooze button in the morning when no one's expecting you for anything, right? But it's at 8 a.m., your pacing partner is on the computer screen waiting for you to come on Zoom. You will not press snooze because you got to get your workout in. You got to get ready. You have to be prepared because you're not going to let this person down at 8 a.m. So, I know we're talking a lot on this call about accountability when it comes to yourself. It's your prerogative. It's your responsibility to also get other accountability in place as well. So it's not just all on you. And then you are bringing them into it.
I love that. I know that we've called it before. There's a couple names you can call it. I know when I was in the Army, we called it a battle buddy. They were always with us. They always helped us, all that kind of thing. And then there's an accountability buddy too at the same time that you can call it that as well, that will help hold you accountable if you need to put some things around or make it fun. Obviously, at the same time, it's kind of cool that you said that, where we don't think about accountability and how it is created and it becomes normal every time. Like you talked about the snooze button. If if you are hitting the snooze button in the morning and your spouse wants to work out, your spouse is motivated, your spouse is driven, you're almost giving them permission that they don't have to. Be that person that's accountable to yourself and accountable to them that gets up. Because I'll tell you what, if you get up, they're going to start creating the habit of getting up. Same thing with your kids. If your kids see you being a leader, caring about them, talking to them, asking them questions, asking them how you can help them, what they want to be held to, but asking them about their day and what when the highs and lows and all these different things, it helps them start looking for the things, which is you're creating self accountability in that person. And then talking about your spouse or being like things within business as well. If there's education or something you want to accomplish, or like you like to take trips or taking the kids to the pool or whatever it is, it's like if you can't afford some of these things, what do we need to be held accountable, or who do we need to ask for help, or how do we create that accountability that we can start doing these things that not only you want to accomplish, but it also you're doing it for your spouse as well. And that is accountability without being told what to do or guided or what have you. It's taking a second and looking around you and going, honestly, who am I letting down? And if you're letting people down or you feel that way, what can you do? Ask yourself the next question: what can I do to change that? And sometimes it's really simple. Sometimes it is going for a walk. Sometimes it's going for a run. Sometimes it's lifting weights. Sometimes it's eating better. Sometimes it's getting a coach that will help you change your world. Sometimes it's making more phone calls. Sometimes it's asking your leader for, I mean, I could go on and on, right? But you see what I'm saying? I'm glad you brought that up because that is creating self accountability as well. It doesn't always have to depend on other people.
I love that you just said the high and low thing, and I'll just share this little story. I was on a plane like over the summertime, must have been like 5 months ago, and the movie I was watching on the plane had the couple with their kids going around and talking about the highs and lows. And one of the biggest frustrations I had last year when our daughter was in fourth grade was I'd always say, "Well, how was your day? Like, what happened today? What made you laugh today? Like, what made you sad today?" And I'd always get the same answer, some surface level response, nothing about what happened during the day, you know? And so when I saw this exercise of what's your high and low, I started incorporating it this year. And it's been really fun to hear the different types of answers. Yesterday, she just said to me, when we were sitting down, she was having dinner before going to swim. And I was like, "What's your high and low?" And she told me about this new game that her and her friends made up and that she's so excited to do it tomorrow and all this stuff. And I said, "Oh, well, what was your low?" And she said, "Actually, my low was I was working on a puzzle in class and I didn't have time to finish it because I had to go to my after school daycare program, Wayzata Kids. And I'm so excited to go to school tomorrow so I could finish it." And I was like, "That was your low?" She's like, "Yeah, I really wanted to finish that puzzle and I didn't get the opportunity to." And I was just like, "This is awesome. This is her low in fifth grade, you know?" And so this one exercise I've incorporated in work as well, because I know that there's some managers, leaders out there that do like those 5-minute check-ins. It could be in the morning or it can be in the afternoon. But that is such a great exercise for you to do to actually get some intentional answers rather than, "Oh yeah, I had a good day yesterday. Some meetings went well." It's like, "Okay, tell me about your high and your low. What was your highest point yesterday? What was something that really filled your cup that you felt really good about? And what was your lowest point yesterday? What made you upset? What made you aggravated? What made you unhappy? Where did you feel like you dropped the ball?" And you'll get more intentional answers. So I just encourage you, if you're not getting the types of answers that you're looking for, try rewording the questions that you're asking to your people so that you can get better substance with their answer.
Why? And as you talk about that, because you're talking about a movie that you watched
Mm.
and it hit you. What, and this may be a big question, but I would love to know this about you. what in you and how is it ingrained in you, or how does that happen over time that you are consistently looking for ways to get better? Because I don't think that's normal, if you will. But even looking at it through a movie or on a daily basis, or people that you talk to, or all these different things, that you don't take conversations for granted. You're consistently looking for ways that you can implement things or help other people with things, transfer information to somebody else. Is there how does that happen? How have you created that?
I mean, one of my affirmations since I was 19 years old is day by day, by the grace of God, I'm getting better and better. And I say that to myself every day, even now, internally. I say it to myself every single day. And I never want to feel like I've arrived. I've never want to feel like I'm the best, because I know there's so much out there that I don't know. And the only way to really see how other people that are better than me operate is by asking better questions. I think one of the best compliment anybody can ever get is, wow, that was an amazing question, because it gets them thinking in a completely different way of how did they process it? How do they come up with that? What is it in them that gets them that result, or what just happened? Like, I think that's one of the best compliments someone can give you ever. And so, going back to that question, I just feel as if people live in this like surface level world, and it's deeper than that. I mean, one of the how are you doing today? Oh, good. It's one of the most annoying questions to me, because it's no, I don't want your full story of, I literally have 2 seconds. I have to hop on a call. Like, I'm being nice, I'm being friendly, but like when I truly want that answer, I want to be intentional. I want to be with that person. So I don't know. Going back to your point, I just feel like it's so important to always be feeding our mind, because our mind takes us to our comfort zone. Our mind takes us to negativity. We have over 60,000 negative thoughts that go through our mind every single day on average. Like, there is so much that our mind is going against us with, that if we're not feeding it the appropriate material or substance, then it's just going to derail you. So,
I love that you touched on the how are you doing today, that question. Because when we ask that, it's surface level. And I thought about this as you were saying it, that I was taught years ago that if somebody says I'm fine, there's something behind that. When people give that answer, they're typically not as fine as they should be. So ask them, is what I would ask you to do. And I know we're talking about accountability, but that's one of the biggest things. And then the other thing is when somebody says, I'm good, use Jenny's question. What's one high thing that happened today and one low thing that happened today? Tell me about that a little bit. And watch how your team members, watch how your family, watch how people around you start to open up and start to tell you what's really going on in their world. And that ultimately is going to guide the conversation towards, I don't want to say deeper, but different types and different things that they want to do and they want to accomplish, because they're opening up to it, really is what it comes down to. So don't take things just at face value. Even, and I go back to this, so it all comes full circle with accountability. Many times when we're reactive, that's what we're doing, is we're taking things at face value. When they say, oh, I'm good, I just wanted to ask you about this thing. Oh, just do this and this, you're good. It's great that you just solved the problem, but that's not, ask them. Ask them what they would do. Ask them how they would handle it. Ask them what they would do next time it comes up. And now you're creating in them the accountability that they can figure things out and they can do. That's so many times we think accountability is just holding somebody to something. And that's just a portion of it. Let's call that what it is. And I hope this changes the way you think about it a little bit, that you start looking at it as a bigger thing or a deeper thing or a different way to look at it instead of just taking it at face value as well. So, yeah. I don't know. It's this kind of stuff that, as a leader, developing yourself time and time and time again, that it takes intentionality. Go back to Jenny's word. But let me ask you this, Jen. How do you model accountability in yourself? I know that's a big question because you could give about 5,000 answers that you do, but what do you do?
Well, the first thing you need to do is you need to truly look within yourself and ask yourself, are you healthy? Because if you are not healthy, no, if you don't have your health, you have nothing. And the most important discipline that anybody can have is their own body discipline,
Hmm.
is their own health, are you fit? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you eating grilled chicken or pizza and cheeseburgers and french fries every meal? Like, that's the first form of modeling accountability you need to truly ask yourself, not just for your family, your team, but most importantly for your own well-being. So that's number one. Number two, I I want to hear your answer because you're amazing at modeling accountability. With that being said, there are times all of us has modeled accountability, and there's times all of us has faked accountability. And when you fake accountability, when you fake modeling accountability, you become that feeling of being a hypocrite does seek in. Like, when you're truly doing what you know you should be doing, that your abilities are your strengths, you're living into your strengths, you operate in this form of unconditional confidence that it's
Hmm.
hard to even explain. Like, you're just on point, you're positive, you're sharp, you're all of it. And when you're not, and you're asking someone to do something that you know they should be doing and you're not even doing it yourself, those feelings creep in, and they can sense it. They can read into it. They can be like, "Well, why is he or she asking you to do that? She hasn't done that in a month." Like, "Well, she's asking me to get on a call, but she hasn't recruited somebody in forever. She's asking me to do this, but she's taking days off and going on vacation." Like, it seeps in. So, I'm not saying not to go on vacation. You go on vacation, you
No,
put it on your calendar. But what I am saying is, you know when you're modeling that accountability, and you know when you're not. And so, I would love to even get that back to you, is just like, what are areas in which you feel like when it's hard to model accountability and you push through?
I touch on something first. I love that you said, because when you said fake and accountability, the examples, I love that you gave the examples, because that's hard to wrap your mind around at times. Like, what does that actually mean? And the examples of what you just said tells us exactly what that is. So now, obviously, you have your own, but you know if you're faking it or not. And to me, fake it till you make it. I don't know if I live in that world, I guess. But what was your question again?
Just what your question was to me, modeling accountability.
Oh gosh, I mean, where, where do I start with that? Let's start with health wise, like you did. I don't have to question how I feel or how I look. I don't have to look at a shirt or a suit or whatever and think, is that going to fit me right? I don't have to worry about those things. That's, to me, that's what accountability is. I know that sounds funny, but I, over time, it becomes who you are. Like you talked about, nobody can buy your health for you. They can't buy you muscles. They can't buy you being in shape. They can't buy you running. They can't buy that for you. And when you walk into a room, people know it. They know that you are disciplined and consistent in facets of life that other people simply aren't. And I know that's coming. I don't want that to sound whatever, but if it does to you, well, there's probably a reason it does. So maybe a time to do something about it. When I look at development, there was a time, and I've talked about this in the past, that I didn't read and didn't do things. But I also know now that the discipline of accountability of when people tell you that you're pretty sharp or you're well spoken, it's because of all the books that you listen to and all the books that you read and all the people you surround yourself with and the training and the coaches and the mentors and all these people that the way you pour into the development of yourself. That is also, you have a phrase that I absolutely love, that you can't, once you know something, you can't unknow it. And your conversations are better. The people you're with are just better. The way you let things in and speak it out, it's just thought through better. And then you look at being a dad. That is one of the most important things in the world to me. I hold it. There's a difference between being a father and being a dad. A dad is somebody who will play with their kids and hang out with their kids and be part of their kids and show them by example that you're doing dishes or cooking or loving their mom or all these different things. Like, that is being a dad, man. And that is something that it doesn't just happen. It's something that you, again, go back to your word intentional, that you have to be intentional about. And I think that is an act of accountability that you create over time. That's just part of it. And then the last one, obviously, is being a spouse or a husband. And that, to me, it does take work. Marriage is, you get to marry, hopefully you get to marry your best friend and you get to be part of something. But the other aspect of that, it doesn't just happen. You have to be intentional about going for walks or doing things together or talking through things or giving somebody the benefit of the doubt, knowing that they're not trying to hurt you, give people grace. It's loving somebody unconditionally because you two made the choice to be with each other. And to me, that is an accountability aspect as well, that you can be the douchebag if you want to, but that is up to you. If you're going to say, well, I am who I am, you got to deal with it. And that is a crock of crap. It just is. It drives me nuts when people say that, because if you look at the person, just one man's opinion from me, the person I was 20 years ago is not the person I am today. And to me, that's accountability. That's all it is, because you're putting the time and effort into doing it. Or you can say, I just am who I am. And you can sit on the couch, eat your gosh darn potato chips, and watch sports for 12 hours a day on a Sunday. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. So, no, I'm not saying don't watch the Cowboys, because you should do that, but that's part of an accountability thing.
Don't listen to them. Go Eagles.
I hope that answers your question. That's my feeling around it, that you have the ability to do it just as a leader. And to me, parents are leaders. I don't care if you have a title or not. You are a leader, and you either hold yourself to higher standards, accountability, or you do not. That many times is a choice. So, yeah,
Great.
that's what I look at it. Thank you. Anything else to add, Mrs. Widman?
Yeah, the last thing I will say is I would encourage anybody that's listening to this is, every single night, hopefully, one of our nightly routines is brushing our teeth. And when you are brushing your teeth and you're looking yourself in the mirror at the end of the night, I just want you to ask yourself, did I make myself proud today? And I want that accountability to come from making sure that every single day you are giving the best you had that day. And I'm not saying you have to be 100% every day. There are days in your world that maybe 20% is 100% that day. And that's okay. But like, did you make yourself proud with the effort that you put in and the example that you set? And that self accountability and you sharing with your team that you are doing that, you can't make them do that, but hopefully some of them would, based off of your example and what you say of vulnerable situations where you couldn't look yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and say you were proud of yourself, and you're sharing that with your team, that will go such a long way. And that way, every single day by day, by the grace of God, they're getting better and better. You're getting better and better. And you can be proud, but just try it.
Love it. How do you find us? YourLimitlessCoach.com. Because I am going to bet you that for some leaders, this hit you. And when you listen to this and you're emotional, and what I mean by that is, gosh, I should talk to somebody about this stuff. I want to get better. DNAcall.com. Or just look up Jenny or Brent on LinkedIn, Widman.
No,
Make it
DNAcall.com. Go there.
see the feistiness. I love it. That is how you find us. And that is how we can sit down and help you and have a conversation to see if it is a fit or if there's things that you need or maybe don't need or what have you. But that is what we're here for. So thank you again, your Limitless Leadership Podcast, and have a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks for joining us on the Your Limitless Leadership Podcast with Jenny and Brent Widman. We hope today's conversation inspired you to think differently about leadership, not just in your career, but in every part of your life. Remember, leadership starts with leading yourself first. It's about taking action, making bold decisions, and showing up with purpose. Now, it's time to take what you've heard today and put it into practice. Whether it's in your business, your community, your family, or your own personal growth, start leading without limits. You have the power to become the leader you're meant to be. Until next time, keep pushing your boundaries and leading with purpose.